It started with a rumor, a whisper that Silicon Valley Bank, the lifeline of the tech industry, was on the brink of collapse. And then, chaos erupted. Hundreds of startups and venture capitalists rushed to withdraw their funds, sparking a bank run that would change the course of history. In just 1 week, over $1.1 trillion was withdrawn from banks worldwide. The speed and scale of the bank run were unprecedented, leaving regulators and bankers scrambling to respond. As the bank run spread, ATMs ran out of cash, and bank branches were closed. The very fabric of the financial system was beginning to unravel. People were forced to wait in line for hours, only to be told that their money was gone. The scenes were reminiscent of the Great Depression, when banks failed and people lost their life savings. The fear was palpable, and the consequences were devastating. Governments and central banks were forced to intervene, implementing emergency measures to stem the tide of the bank run. But as they struggled to contain the crisis, it became clear that this was more than just a bank failure. It was a systemic crisis. The SVB collapse had unleashed a global contagion, infecting banks and financial institutions worldwide. The question on everyone's mind was, who's next? As the crisis deepened, stock markets plummeted, wiping out trillions of dollars in wealth. The global economy was on the brink of collapse, and the future looked bleak. In a desperate bid to stabilize the system, governments and central banks unveiled a $3.4 trillion bailout package. But as the ink dried on the deal, one thing was clear: this was only the beginning. The SVB collapse had exposed the dark underbelly of the financial system, revealing a web of corruption and greed that went all the way to the top. As the people demanded justice, one thing was certain: the world would never be the same again. The SVB bank run marked the end of trust in the financial system. As the dust settles, one question remains: what's next for the global economy? Will we see a new era of prosperity, or will the chaos continue? Only time will tell. Subscribe to Simplified Finance to stay ahead of the curve.